So that's good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this special meeting of Council for the Town of Petawawa to order for August 24th, 2026. Welcome to members of Council, staff, and our one special guest this evening. I'd like to begin this meeting with the reading of the land acknowledgement, and this evening it will be Councillor Couture.
Thank you, Mayor Lewis. We acknowledge the town of Petawawa was incorporated on the traditional, unceded, and unsurrendered Algonquin Anishinaabe territory in 1865, just 8 years before Reserve Number 39 was established at Golden Lake. We recognize Petawawa's long history, which predates the first arrival of colonists as early as 1613, and its significance to the Indigenous peoples who live and continue to live upon it, and whose spiritual practices are tied to this land. We commit to understanding the profound impact and harm of colonization, honoring Indigenous rights, and embracing reconciliation as a core responsibility. We further commit to honoring the reconciliation process by learning about the 7 grandfather teachings of love, respect, bravery, truth, honesty, humility, and wisdom, and applying these lessons to our stewardship of this land.
Thank you. And now I'd ask everybody in attendance to please stand for a moment of silent reflection. Thank you very much. I need a motion to approve this evening's agenda. Moved by Councillor Carmody, seconded by Councillor Roots, that the agenda for the August 24th, 2026 special meeting of Council be adopted as presented. I'll call on the vote. All in favor? It's carried. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest on this evening's matters? Deputy Mayor Sandberg.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to declare pecuniary interest indirect for bylaws number 1848, 1849, and 1850. Thank
you very much, Deputy Mayor Sandberg. Any other disclosures of pecuniary interest? Seeing none. We have some minutes to approve from the council meeting of August 10th, 2026. I need a motion to approve those minutes. Moved by Deputy Mayor Sandberg, seconded by Councillor Couture, that the minutes of the regular meeting of Council held August 10th, 2026 be approved as printed and circulated. Any concerns, comments on the minutes? I'll call for the vote. All in favor? It's carried. We'll jump right into bylaws. First up, I better let Deputy Mayor Sandberg excuse herself. First up, we have bylaw 1848/26, being a bylaw to amend bylaw 456/07 of the Corporation of the Town of Petawawa as amended, from residential 1, R1 to residential 1, exception 63, R1 E63, for lot 7, registered plan 547 on Carla and Stephen Streets. I need a motion for first and second reading. Moved by Councillor Donovan, seconded by Councillor Driscoll, that bylaw 1848/26, being a bylaw to amend bylaw 456/07 of the Corporation of the Town of Petawawa be amended, as amended, be read at first and second time. I'll call for the vote. All in favor? It's carried.
Corporation of the Town of Petawawa, bylaw 1848/26, being a bylaw to amend bylaw 456/07 of the Corporation of the Town of Petawawa as amended, be read first and second time this 24th day of August 2026.
I need a motion for third and final reading of bylaw 1848/26. Moved by Councillor Couture, seconded by Councillor Carmody, that bylaw 1848/26 be read a third and final time and passed. Any questions or concerns on the bylaw? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? It's carried.
Corporation of the Town of Petawawa, bylaw 1848/26, being a bylaw to amend bylaw 456/07 of the Corporation of the Town of Petawawa as amended, be read a third time and passed. This constitutes third and final reading of bylaw 1848/26 this 24th day of August 2026.
Next, we have bylaw 1849/26, being a bylaw to authorize a development agreement with Todd Clark, part of Lot 21, Concession 5, more particularly described as Lot 7 on Registered Plan 547. I need a motion for first and second reading. Moved by Councilor Roots, seconded by Councilor Coutu, that bylaw 1849/26, being a bylaw to authorize a development agreement with Todd Clark, be read a first and second time. I'll call for the vote. All in favor? It's carried.
Corporation of the Town of Petawawa, bylaw 1849/26, being a bylaw to authorize the development agreement with Todd Park, be read first and second time this 24th day of August 2026.
I need a motion for third and final reading of bylaw 1849/26. Moved by Councilor Carmody, seconded by Councilor Donovan, that bylaw 1849/26 be read a third and final time and passed. Any questions or concerns on the bylaw? I'll call for the vote. All in favor? It's carried.
Corporation of the Town of Petawawa, bylaw 1849/26, being a bylaw to authorize the development agreement with Todd Park. This constitutes third and final reading of bylaw 1849/26, this 24th day of August 2026.
Next, we have bylaw 1850/26, being a bylaw to authorize a development agreement with Todd Clark, part of Lot 21, Concession 5, more particularly described as Lot 1 on Registered Plan 547. I need a motion for first and second reading. Moved by Councilor Coutu, seconded by Councilor Roots, that bylaw 1850/26, being a bylaw to authorize a development agreement with Todd Clark, be read a first and second time. I'll call for the vote. All in favor? It's carried.
Corporation of the Town of Petawawa, bylaw 1850/26, being a bylaw to authorize the development agreement with Todd Clark, be read the first and second time this 24th day of August 2026.
I need a motion for third and final reading of bylaw 1850/26. Moved by Councilor Coutu, seconded by Councilor Carmody, that bylaw 1850/26 be read a third and final time and passed. Any questions or concerns on the bylaw? I'll call for the vote. All in favor? It's carried.
Corporation of the Town of Petawawa, bylaw 1850/26, being a bylaw to authorize a development agreement with Todd Clark. This constitutes third and final reading of bylaw 1850/26, this 24th day of August 2026.
Next, we have bylaw 1851/26, being a bylaw to amend bylaw 456/07 of the Corporation of the Town of Petawawa as amended from rural RU to residential 1 R1 and from rural RU to residential 1 exception 62 R1-E62 for part of lot 6, range C Airport Road. I need a motion for first and second reading. Moved by Deputy Mayor Sabrin, seconded by Councilor Carmody, that bylaw 1851/26, being a bylaw to amend bylaw 456/07 of the Corporation of the Town of Petawawa as amended, be read a first and second time. I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Opposed? It's carried.
Corporation of the Town of Petawawa, bylaw 1851/26, being a bylaw to amend bylaw 45607 of the Corporation of the Town of Petawawa as amended, be read first and second time this 24th day of August 2026.
I need a motion for third and final reading of bylaw 1851/26. Moved by Councilor Donovan, seconded by Councilor Driscoll, that bylaw 1851/26 be read a third and final time and passed. Any questions or comments on the bylaw? Councilor Coutu.
Thank you, Mayor Service. I just want to say I really appreciate the work of the staff and the consultants on the development agreement that came with this change, and I really see the impact of taking seriously the wildfire risk and ensuring that that protection is carried on to the building stage, and that it will always be part of how that land is treated given the wildfire risk. But in the initial review the application, I had raised my concern about the natural heritage features. So it's sort of a death by a thousand cuts. You know, no snowflake in a snowstorm feels responsible, but we lose the forest decision by decision. So just before we all vote on this, I just wanted to say one more time my concerns and where they come from too, because us sitting in this seat, we're not just individuals making decisions. We've been asked to put into practice some policies, some of which are drafted by ourselves, some of which drafted by the province, and we're also handing the manual on natural heritage features to guide our decision making. So I'll just run through my decision making and why I raised my hand saying no. So in our official plan, section 1.2, our vision, the town of Petawawa will enhance its long-term economic growth by diversifying and strengthening key sectors, including employment, innovative housing, and tourism, while leveraging its natural heritage. So under section 2.2, additional growth policies, the town shall continue to promote growth where there are a full range of community and commercial facilities and services. It is the intent of the town and this official plan to contribute, to develop and enhance recreational facilities, ensure that the growth and development is balanced with the need to protect the town's natural heritage and beauty. And here we have in sustainability and climate change a range of commitments that this council has made, one of which being to protect, where feasible, the existing forest cover and increase the forest cover to improve carbon capture and help prevent soil erosion. And we now can turn to the provincial policy planning statement. So this is where we get the natural heritage designation that this land has. So under 4.1 of the provincial planning statement, natural heritage or natural features and areas shall be protected for the long term. And that's why we use the word heritage. This is what we pass down to our children. And the diversity and connectivity of natural features in an area and the long-term ecological function and biodiversity of natural heritage systems should be maintained, restored, or where possible improved, recognizing linkages between and amongst natural heritage features and areas, surface water features, and groundwater features. So what we're looking at is a significant woodland, a significant valleyland, an ecological feature that has been designated as one that connects with other features. So to chip away at that is to chip away at the connectivity of all of our ecology right now. So looking to the manual, the Natural Heritage Records Manual handed to policymakers like ourselves in this kind of situation where we're asked to chip away at a natural heritage feature, we can point at this and say our call is to protect the ecological function and biodiversity of natural heritage systems. So the integrity and health of these features and their associated ecological functions for the long term, planning authorities should apply decision-making approaches that incorporate the precautionary approach. So that's straight from the Natural Heritage Records Manual, section 2.2, directing us on how we make decisions related to natural heritage features. So I'll leave it at that. That is why I'm raising my hand. No. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments. I just wish you didn't use a snowflake reference.
Apologies.
Worried that might bring winter on you soon. But thanks for your comments. Any other questions, comments, concerns with the bylaw? Then I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Opposed? It's carried. Thank you.
Corporation of the Town of Petawawa, bylaw 1851-26, being a bylaw to amend bylaw 45607 of the Corporation of the Town of Petawawa as amended. This constitutes third and final reading of bylaw 1851-26, this 24th day of August 2026.
Next, we have bylaw 1852/26, being a bylaw to authorize a development agreement with Judith Susan Wago, part of Lot 6, Range C, as a condition of consent for B111/25, brackets 1. I need a motion for first and second reading. Moved by Councillor Ruth, seconded by Councillor Driscoll, that bylaw 1852/26, being a bylaw to authorize a development agreement with Judith Susan Wago, be read a first and second time. I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Opposed? It's carried.
Corporation of the Town of Petawawa, bylaw 1852-26, being a bylaw to authorize the development agreement with Judith Susan Waito, be read first and second time, this 24th day of August 2026.
I need a motion for third and final reading of bylaw 1852/26. Moved by Councillor Carmody, seconded by Deputy Mayor Sabre, that bylaw 1852/26 be read a third and final time and passed. Any questions, concerns, or comments on the bylaw? Then I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Opposed? It's carried.
Corporation of the Town of Petawawa, bylaw 1852-26, being a bylaw to authorize the development agreement with Judith Susan Waito. This constitutes third and final reading of bylaw 1852-26, this 24th day of August 2026.
Next, we have bylaw 1853/26, being a bylaw to authorize a development agreement with Judith Susan Waito, part of Lot 6, Range C, as a condition of consent for B 112/25, 2 in parentheses. I need a motion for the first and second reading. Moved by Councillor Donovan, seconded by Councillor Driscoll, that bylaw 1853/26, being a bylaw to authorize a development agreement with Judith Susan Waito, be read a first and second time. I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Opposed? It's carried.
Corporation of the Town of Petawawa, bylaw 1853-26, being a bylaw to authorize the development agreement with Judith Susan Waito, be read a first and second time, this 24th day of August 2026.
I need a motion for third and final reading of bylaw 1853/26. Moved by Councillor Carmody, seconded by Deputy Mayor Sabre, that bylaw 1853/26 be read a third and final time and passed. Any questions, comments, concerns on the bylaw? I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Opposed? It's carried.
Corporation of the Town of Petawawa, bylaw 1853-26, being a bylaw to authorize a development agreement with Judith Susan Waito. This constitutes third and final reading of bylaw 1853-26, this 24th day of August 2026.
And finally, we have bylaw 1854/26, being a bylaw to authorize a development agreement with Judith Susan Waito, part of Lot 6, Range C, as condition of consent for B 111/25, 1 in parentheses, and B 112/25, 2 in parentheses. I need a motion for the first and second reading. Moved by Councillor Bruce, seconded by Deputy Mayor Sabre, that bylaw 1854/26, being a bylaw to authorize a development agreement with Judith Susan Waito, be read a first and second time. I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Opposed? It's carried.
Corporation of the Town of Petawawa, bylaw 1854-26, being a bylaw to authorize a development agreement with Judith Susan Waito, be read the first and second time, this 24th day of August 2026.
I need a motion for a third and final reading of bylaw 1854/26. Moved by Councillor Driscoll, seconded by Councillor Carmody, that bylaw 1854/26 be read a third and final time and passed. Any questions or concerns in the bylaw? I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Opposed? It's carried.
Corporation of the Town of Petawawa, bylaw 1854-26, being a bylaw to authorize a development agreement with Judith Susan Waito. This constitutes third and final reading of bylaw 1854-26, this 24th day of August 2026.
And now we have some minutes from the council and committee meeting of August 17th, 2026. I need a motion to accept those minutes. Moved by Councillor Coutu, seconded by Councillor Donovan, that the minutes of the council and committee meeting held on August 17th, 2026 be accepted by council, and that resolutions from that committee become resolutions of council. Any questions or concerns with the minutes? I'll call for the vote. All in favor? It's carried. So because this is a special meeting of council, we do not have councilor reports at this special meeting, so you have to save up all of what you did until our next meeting in September. So with that, I need a motion for the confirming bylaw. Moved by Deputy Mayor Sabrin, seconded by Councilor Carmody, that bylaw 1855/26 be read a first, second, and third time and passed. I'll call for the vote. All in favor? It's carried.
Incorporation of the Town of Petawawa bylaw 1855/26, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council at its special meeting held on August 24th, 2026. Be read a first, second, and third time and passed. This constitutes first, second, and third reading short of bylaw 1855/26, this 24th day of August 2026.
I need a motion to adjourn. Moved by Councilor Coutu, seconded by Councilor Roots, that the meeting adjourn to the call of the mayor. I'll call for the vote. All in favor? It's carried.